Hi, and welcome to another episode of Mandalorian is the fucking tits, and that's the only Star Wars thing we should ever talk about from now on.
In 5D.
I disagree in all 5Ds, but okay.
Okay, so
Coming in hot with it, I guess.
I know. I really wanted to set it up, but thanks for joining us again here in 5D. We're obviously going to talk about Star Wars, but before that, say
Morning.
hello.
This is a Star Wars episode where we're going to argue about everything.
I don't know if we are on this one. But I do want to talk a lot about like the reactions and stuff. But anyways, we got Bonsai here above me.
Woo!
Klops coming in right below.
Hi.
Hello. All right, and I am Ark. I'm your mostly host with the. It's not the most. I'm making shit up at this point. Okay, so before we run into what everybody came here to talk about, which is the Rise of Skywalker.
Yay!
I finally got caught up on Mandalorian.
Yay!
Buddy of mine, and we've got a thing where we just get really baked and we watch it.
So wait, because it's done, right?
Yeah, it was the finale.
The
Yeah.
finale was where. Oh, okay, so spoilers, just in case folks haven't seen it.
This won't air. Well, for people on live, but for
Yeah.
everybody on the audio one, it'll be 2 weeks.
So, and the last episode is where they call back their friends and they crash the TIE fighter of the like main Imperial baddie, right? That's the
Yeah.
end.
Yeah.
Okay, just wanted to make sure
That's
I
the
hadn't
end of the first
missed
season.
something. Okay, cool.
And I don't know how I feel about the second season because apparently the guy that did The Last Jedi is getting the second season of The Mandalorian. At least that's what I've heard. I haven't confirmed yet. I need to.
That'd
Ryan
be-
Johnson? No, Ryan Johnson is going to do a new trilogy, as far as I know.
I thought
what's
they had
happening?
pulled that. I thought they had pulled that.
Hold on, you fucking fill time.
Okay. So
Wants to direct.
Why
from what
would they-
I'm seeing.
take it away from Favreau.
John Favreau.
My bad.
Bro.
Favreau.
I like that better.
Favreau.
I like for bro better
Yeah,
than
why
And
would
Favreau.
they take
he's
away
only
from him?
looking to do some episodes of it. I don't show that Favreau is off of season 2.
That's good. That's good. Because I didn't fact check. I just heard it and I was like, what?
Okay.
Why would they shoot themselves in the foot twice?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, John Favreau talks working on season 2 of Mandalorian. So
Okay.
he's
Okay.
Perfect.
he's,
good.
he's the guy. He's
Whew.
the guy. Yeah.
I mean, because
Well,
I was pretty
Fully
sad.
charged.
I was pretty sad for like a little while there after I heard that. I was like, really? That's...
Yeah.
What?
At that point, I'm barely starting to warm up to Disney Plus. I don't know if they did something like that. If I'd be.
Honestly, the only reason I
Right.
watch Disney Plus is for The Mandalorian. I haven't really
There's a
watched
lot
anything
of
else.
so the other big headline that's coming out about it is I guess a whole bunch of people are like canceling Disney Plus
Oh,
because Mandalorian is over. I will say, kind of a face palm on Disney's part. How did you not get your lineup set up better to where once one of your shows was ending, you at least had hype for your next show going?
Yeah.
What also I
Because-
don't understand is why aren't they an hour long and why do we only have 8 episodes?
Yeah. Well, apparently that show was like ridiculously expensive on a per episode basis, like insanely so. That is
Okay, that's fine. I'm okay
So-
with the half hour.
Well, I'm okay. They should be an hour long, but I agree with 8 episodes because who knew if it was going to work or not. Star Wars fans are
that's
so
exactly
picky,
what I'm
it could have been
thinking.
shitty.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Like they were going to try experimenting on this new format, and they didn't know if it was going to pay off.
Right.
I do have one comment to add though. They made it, 8 episodes and didn't release them all at the same time, so it's not like they didn't know when it was going to end. They should
Right,
have had
that's my bigger
something
thing.
lined up. So I'm agreeing.
or at least
yeah.
hyping. Like where's my trailers for the next big Disney Plus show? Oh wait, we don't have any of that.
I think
Yeah.
they wanted to bring in a lot of people with the Star Wars show, and then they were like, oh well, they'll just stay because of all the content, right? But because Star Wars is a new addition to the Disney collection, those might not necessarily cross paths, right? Star Wars fans and all of the Disney backlog fans, in the sense of like the Disney classics and things like that. Sure, Marvel, but Marvel stuff is available elsewhere. It's not exclusive. So I think they should have planned a little bit better, or maybe there's some sort of secret plan I'm just not seeing. But even if it wasn't another Star Wars show, like
there's a bunch of great Marvel shows coming up. I just would have made sure one of them was a little closer to ready when this one was ready to end. Like, I'm not even saying like, oh, the day it stops, have the next one start, but at least have like trailers and hype and a reason for people to stick around.
I see what you're saying. I think it's weird too that they did that. They were, I don't know, maybe they felt they were going to go the same way as like DC streaming or whatever.
Well, it might be that they were feeling.
Yeah,
it might be that they were probably feeling like Mandalorian might take the attention away from Rise of Skywalker.
Well, they did even release one episode early because they said there was a big link between the two things, and it wasn't what I would call a big link.
No, it wasn't. It was a please don't yell at us kind of moment.
Well, what was the link? I think I missed it.
So you remember? Okay, spoiler.
Okay,
spoiler.
From here on out,
spoiler.
Spoilers about Rise of Skywalker.
All of it. Mandalorian, Rise of Skywalker, all of it.
Yeah,
spoilers.
We're just going into that territory.
Spoilers.
Sadly, if you don't want to hear that, I would stop listening to the episode because this is that episode.
Spoilers.
Yup. All right, go on.
Spoilers.
Sorry,
I forgot to do it earlier.
Yeah. Thanks for
more spoilers than a fucking nothing. No, nothing about raising and Asian people. Go on.
Wow, that got dark quick.
Yeah.
You know what? After all that, I remember what I was
Spoiler.
Talk about spoilers and cars and shit.
Oh yeah, so they got these things on the back they call spoilers.
So the link between the Mandalorian and
Rise just drives past is like Han died in the movie. Just like has a drive past.
So, Baby Yoda does the Force heal on the guy, which is something that like. So here's why I think a lot of people were mad. Fuck, I'm going in circle. Okay, so Baby Yoda does the Force heal in Mandalorian. Then in last Rise of Skywalker, Rey does a Force heal on the snake and on Kylo. That's the big link, was the Force heal. Which, hold on. So your hands are up. I have a friend who is a hardcore Star Wars fan, but not a gamer. And so he's like, Force heal is like this obscure thing used in the comics a couple of times, but what the fuck is Force heal? And I was like, no, the games, it's a staple. Force heal and Force drain, which are both used in Rise of Skywalker, are like mainstays in the game universe, but really apparently don't cross over too much with all the other EU, and definitely had zero cross in the movies. For people who weren't familiar with that side of the EU, it was super weird.
Let me just make sure I'm on the same page as you, because it's been a while with some of the EU stuff. So Force drain I know is a very common thing. Force heal with video games, are you talking about the first Knights of the Old Republic, how basically Bastille, I forget her name, keeps Revan alive?
Basilisk.
No,
maybe.
So
it was in the Old Republic.
Yes.
So it was in the Old Republic. It was in
Jedi Academy.
It was in Jedi Academy. It was in the what is it with fucking was Kyle. Outcast and Outcast 2.
Yeah.
Those were really good. I have them.
It was
and it's in the X360 one, Unleashed.
Yeah, I think it's in Unleashed.
Wait,
it's
was
also in this like other Sith game that was related to the Outcast series, but it was only like 3 levels long.
The difference is Force heal was always just something that light side users could do to boost their health, where dark side users got Force drain. This is just the same thing being applied to another person.
So that's where I missed it for Force Unleashed, because he could never heal other people, because there were a couple of cutscenes where he could have used that shit.
Right. No, he just did it on himself, but there's no reason he couldn't push that over.
I mean, I understand.
You're letting the Force flow through things, man. It's all the same shit.
But changing your own molecules and doing that shit to your own body versus affecting somebody else's, like...
You're not doing anything, bro. The Force is doing it.
Yeah, but it's still you being that conduit for it. And so therefore I also feel...
This shit is just space magic.
No, I know, but I hate... Look,
but you have to go to a space cleric for space healing.
Argument. Hold on. I hate that argument because it's the same argument that I have with some folks when we talk about that really sensitive subject of religion. They just
that it doesn't exist.
They just usually like, well, this doesn't make sense, and the argument was like, well, you know, you gotta have faith. So let's not treat the Force that.
But that's what the Force is.
But it's a made up
stuff and make lightning and heal people and drain their life. And
I'm just saying.
Look, my thing is
magic.
I'm just saying the reason we're even talking about this is because there are certain established rules within this universe that have set it up.
Some motherfuckers get space magic.
Yeah, that's why sometimes it's really abrasive when new powers are brought in a weird way. I'm not saying they can't be. Like, I wasn't mad about it. I was just like, them adding that link and then trying to make a big deal about it seems really fucking dumb.
Well, yeah, I agree with that. But also, I was going to say, I thought it was really funny that when Han Solo back in the original trilogy said that he didn't believe in any of the space magic, when clearly there was the Jedi Order 10 years before him, or during those young years.
No. Your timeline's way off.
Yeah.
Way off.
It's 20, 30 years in between, right?
Yeah. So it's 20 30 years in between. Cuz Luke's done with school and stuff. He's old enough to start going to academies and things. Luke is 20 years old. So it's 20 years, and the Jedi Order had been largely suppressed, history in general had been suppressed by the Empire. The Empire had gone around and raised children, told people, burned books, outer rim planets that didn't have as heavy activity. They were all just told, yeah, that's not real. That was all just legends and myths and bullshit. That's not real.
Yeah, there was the Empire not only held technology back, they kind of rewrote history a lot as well.
Yeah. You also have to keep in mind, Star Wars happens over an entire galaxy. There are thousands of planets. You can really only have presence in so many and be unknown in most others. That's why every movie and every show can have new planets, and it's fine.
Yeah.
Because there's thousands.
No, way more than thousands. I mean, galaxy. We're talking about galaxy spanning.
I see your point there, but in the main core of the galaxy, as well as in the outlining planets around that, it feels like there was a lot more activity with the Jedi, especially because they sent, Jedis out to do things for land disputes and everything else.
Clone Wars, the Clone Wars TV show, a bunch of times Jedi show up and people are like, Jedi? The fuck is that? There are people during the Jedi supremacy that are still like, the fuck are you?
Yeah, no, the Jedi...
It happens all the time in that show.
So they
I'll have to rewatch that. I don't remember that. I don't remember that as clearly, I should say.
They focus a lot on the Jedi in the books and stuff, but it was really a rare thing, right? It's like having these mythical beings that you hear stories of from other worlds.
Somebody on your planet might have seen one time.
Your average person doesn't even really get into space. Look at most of the people on Tatooine and even in Naboo. The general population doesn't necessarily go into space.
Yeah, they're on one planet.
Live on their planet. So it's these stories about a thing that's happening in another solar system or whatever. I could see how that argument holds up. Yeah. But all right, so Link was dumb. Whatever.
Yes.
Klops, I actually kind of want to let you go first because you saw it before us and you've had a little chance to stew on it. So now that
are we done with Mandalorian?
Yeah. Let's move.
Oh wait, no. Did we spoil the Mandalorian though?
The Force Seal.
I want to talk.
The Force Seal.
Well, I mean, there's that, but there's the sword at the end.
Oh yeah, which is not. My wife was like, "It's a lightsaber." I'm like, "It's not a lightsaber."
It looked like a vibroblade actually.
It's the dark saber.
Kind of.
I kind of know of this, but explain this for me and for the other people who are not clear or don't know what this is, because I'm not clear on what this is.
The dark saber, or this black sword, or whatever, this black beam sword is what it is basically the symbol for Mandalorian, or Mandalore, to rule the planet of Mandalore.
Okay.
It's the sword that crushed the other clans and brought them either into submission by warfare or by respect. So this villain that's being set up in The Mandalorian is being set up to basically make the Mandalorian that we see in the show
The head
become
of
the
ultimate
new
Mandalore.
Mandalore.
yeah.
Damn. That's dope as fuck.
I really like that.
Oh,
I
so-
saw that and I was like, oh my
I
god.
didn't realize that was the dark saber because it, mind you, I was very high. But it looked like a vibro blade from what I saw. The way, especially the way that it cut through. So maybe
Yeah.
the dark saber is a version of a vibro blade. But yeah, that makes
It's
sense.
more like a lightsaber. It's basically a lightsaber is really what it is.
But it looks like it doesn't drop down. You know what I mean?
It does.
It doesn't turn off.
It does. It does.
Does it? He didn't
Yeah.
show it turning off.
He didn't show it turning off, but I don't think they were trying to show it. It does. In the Clone Wars and in Rebels they show it and
Okay.
it drops.
I watched Clone Wars like at the peak of me drinking and smoking, so I
Yeah.
only remember bits of it. I'm actually rewatching it now, but I'm still in season 1, so
I have a fucking Star Wars boner right now. When we finish this, I'm gonna go play the Old Republic again.
Oh, I finished Solo finally, and now I'm moving into Rogue One. I'm just kind of watching it here and there as like bits and pieces. Like when I have time, like I got like almost an hour, right? And I mean,
All right, you sons of bitches, quit stalling.
Oh wait, no, I had one. So my last bit. If we're talking Mandalorian,
Yes.
the Mandalorian Smith, whatever her name was, I keep forgetting her name.
Oh, yeah.
I said it.
Yeah, she's great.
Straight up thug.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
all I got. Straight thug. She is a badass in every.
Okay, I will say though that last fight was very reminiscent of Equilibrium, and I like that movie, so I thought it was badass.
I'm not even talking about the fight though. The fact that she's just like, nah, I'm taking my time, taking all this Bespar and smithing that shit up, and then I'm gonna go somewhere else. But first,
Yeah.
I'm taking all my shit with me. 'Cause-
Okay.
Yeah, like,
Well,
literally, I'm going to found more foundlings.
right.
All this is the way. Yeah, no, like she was great.
Love. Her.
So, are they implying that most of that enclave of Mandalorians got killed?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's really weird, right? Like, it's shown
Not-
that to kill a Mandalorian, for the most part, you need to bring out the really big guns, and I didn't see that kind of damage in that space.
They were on a planet full of mercenaries. He left before the fight was done. Who knows
Yeah.
what else was there and how much longer that was drawn out.
They even stated that after that little enclave was done with like killing the stormtroopers that were there,
The Imperials came.
there was even more Imperials that showed up.
Yeah, I'm
And
just saying,
I'm-
like, it didn't look like it was a battleground in there. Maybe the battle happened somewhere else.
Well, no, I don't think it happened. I think she moved all that. She moved
Yeah,
all that
she
stuff
had all
after
the
the
bodies
fighting.
in a pile.
Yeah.
Well, no, it
She
wasn't
was
the
hauling
bodies,
it
it
onto
was
the
the
ship.
armor. It was just the armor.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. Is I think she gathered it.
Okay.
But what I think, because I mean, if the radio call goes, we have Mandalorians here, the Empire goes, fuck, we're gonna just bring out
Nope.
everything. Nope.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I mean? So there was probably some really heavy fighting, which sucks that we didn't get to see it, but there'll be more.
Yeah. Okay. Are we done with the Mandalorian?
We're done with the
I really want the baby Yoda to be a Mandalorian forever now.
I
Oh,
want
yeah.
a Yoda Mandalorian, like
I know.
a force sensitive Mando Yoda, whatever the fuck they're called.
Yeah, it would be great.
That'd be interesting. I like that they basically still not explaining what Yoda's species really is. They're just kind of space wizards.
Kinda. Space
Those-
gremlins.
Yeah. I was this one. No, they actually called them space wizards. I'm pretty sure.
I don't think there was any mention of their actual race though.
Yeah.
Because
Well,
we only
not-
see 3 of them. We only see Yoda, and then we see the 2
They
in
have
the.
never officially
Yeah.
stated Yoda's race.
I know.
Yeah, they have Yoda, and then they
Exactly.
have
the Lady Yoda.
the Lady Yoda, and then they have the one. They have Baby Yoda.
Yeah. That's it.
If I remember correctly, I had read somewhere that she was actually not the same species as Yoda.
I don't know.
'Cause
Okay.
wasn't she red?
No, she had red hair.
Hmm. Okay.
But look, okay. So, actually, in the Knights of the Old Republic, there also was another of Yoda species.
Yeah,
And
but
that
we don't
was
count that because it's not
thousands
long.
of
as far
years
as-
ago. Yeah, no, okay.
Yeah,
Not
Whatever,
I
it's
know.
still there. Okay. So, Cops, you've had a chance to stew and think about it. What did you think? Now that you can talk spoilers.
Oh, okay. So I'm going to start with my biggest gripe of the movie.
Okay.
Why did Emperor Palpatine use Force lightning for a third time?
Well,
It failed him twice before, and then he
not
basically
just-
died in this one like he did in the prequels.
Not just that though, but like he keeps going after it's hitting him. Like stop, just
Yeah,
stop.
yeah. That's my real biggest. I guess that's my real biggest gripe is because it got to that point and I was like, why?
L-
Why? You have thousands of other
Like,
things that you could do.
Clench them
you,
butt cheeks. Stop that flow.
you were a Sith Lord. You could have used Drain. You could have used any other power, but no,
He
just
didn't have
stick with
enough
the
mana
lightning.
for drain, only
Yeah.
enough mana for lightning on
It's
spam.
like Diablo, man. My my mana move. was
You
gone.
fucking learned immortality, but you can't learn nothing but Force lightning. I guess we see where you're mid-maxed.
Okay, can I drop my like what is now apparently my biggest gripe in Star Wars just because you brought up the immortality thing? According to this movie, no one who falls in a hole in the Star Wars universe ever dies from that.
Oh yeah, no.
Boba Fett was said to get out, Luke got out, Vader got out, Emperor got out. Everybody who falls down a hole just gets better, and it's Darth Maul was cut in half and thrown down a hole. If they just cut him in half, Darth Maul would have died. Cut him in half, throw him down a hole, Darth Maul's fine. You
You know what
can't
happens?
throw people down holes in the Star Wars universe.
So here's
Luke
my
falls down a hole. Luke falls down two holes.
look,
Falls in a
here's my
Rancor
theory.
hole, falls in a hand cut off hole.
Look, here's my theory though. See, the holes in Star Wars are so long that they're almost infinite. And in that time, there's a Balrog that lives in there. And what we don't see is that they fight the Balrog and level up and become like Gandalf, where they become, Gandalf the White instead of Gandalf the Gray. And that's why they keep getting better. They're just taking it from Lord of the Rings. Any deep ass hole has a Balrog in it, and you got to fight it when you fall down. And
Okay.
that's one up.
So
I get it.
let
Yeah.
me shift the conversation a little bit because along those lines, there's a theory. Well, it's not even a theory. There's a takeaway that some people got, and I've read a couple articles online, not just one person that says this, that they're saying that it's not that he didn't survive. Sorry, right. It's not that he survived that fall through the hole. It's that was just a clone of his, and he's been on this planet the whole time, basically projecting himself out, which unfortunately, I know it's not canon, but steals from the Old Republic.
I mean, so
game.
does the arsenal of fucking things.
like
Oh, he had Snokes in a jar. That's definitely what was happening.
well, and so that's why they were saying, like, because he had Snokes in a jar, he could have had a bunch of Palpatines in the jar,
Yeah.
right? So it's not that, so that Palpatine died at the end of the movie, but the guy pulling the strings in the background, that's what he's been doing. And
Oh, so what you're saying is because it was a clone, he didn't know that his clone failed at Force Lightning twice. So he just used the Force Lightning once and
Well,
died from it.
if he's projecting his consciousness, he would know. Maybe it's so much. Yeah, I don't know why he used Force Lightning. That's kind of dumb.
I guess the clone thing works for it. But you bring up another thing about how they just had another trope from like the extended universe, which is this planet filled with like Star Destroyers with death beams on them. It's not exactly the same, but there was, Starforge base
Yeah,
that you had to go blow up or whatever in the first Knights of the Old Republic, which is basically just the same thing.
yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
So yeah, the Force Lightning is my biggest gripe with this movie because it was just like, what? I think the other part that was kind of like, let's speed this along was like, I think it was when Leia died, and that's because she already died once in my book in the last movie and should have just been dead and would have been more impactful than this one. Other than that, I really liked this movie. I thought it was a really good close to the Star Wars saga of this saga, right? The Skywalker line.
Right.
So, to go along with that as well, like my biggest gripe, honestly, is the Leia thing. I feel like, and again, I'm gonna keep saying this. I understand why things went down the way that they went down, because basically someone kicked over the sandcastle and they had to fucking put it back together in a hurry.
Right.
The thing is, it's so the way that they did it, like here's this really strong independent woman that has been fighting for years, and she just takes a nap and passes away like an old lady. It felt like mishandled. And to be fair, I'm not the first person to say this, but I think it's hilarious that the Skywalker clan tends to get really exhausted and then fade into the Force. It's like their thing now, right?
So my other big, just like people can't fall into holes, Skywalkers can't make 180 decisions or they die. Once a Skywalker leans into something, they can't pivot or they die from that.
Yeah, it's just
Luke got real hard into like, I'm not going to help the galaxy. Helps the galaxy, dies from it. Anakin is like, I'm evil, bro. I guess maybe I'm not evil. Dies from it. Kylo Ren,
Yup.
evil. Nah, I'm good. Dies. Skywalkers aren't allowed to make life-changing decisions.
yeah, it's
Well,
so
I thought it was
fucking
just
weird.
because that was their destiny, and they finally embraced it, and then they die.
Does that mean Rey's just gonna die, like when she's just like, fuck it?
No,
No.
dude, Rey is a Palpatine.
Yeah.
She's gonna live until she's
She adopts
wrinkly.
the name, bro.
Yeah,
She
but the
adopts
name
the
doesn't.
name Skywalker, but I don't think that matters. That's not the actual like bloodline.
Fair. You think it? Oh, it's like midichlorians. Then they have the bad
Yeah.
midichlorians, the
Yeah, yeah.
self-destructy ones.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so sorry, I interrupted you. You said you liked this movie. So now, do you like it, or do you just like it a lot more than the last one, and that's why it's better?
No, I like it. I thought it was a lot of fun. It touched upon a lot of things, like how there's more than just Finn as a First Order trooper that defected and left and did something, right? And then they kind of
Yeah,
joined.
I had a lot of friends who complained about that, and I was like, no, bro. Like, there's definitely other people who would have just defected.
Yeah,
You don't see there were Imperials who defected.
I will
Yeah.
I will say though, like, I just wish, because they slowly took away another thing that Finn was special for. Like, I obviously there's more people that defected. It makes me sad because I feel like if they would have worked on Finn in the last movie, he could have been better for this one. You know,
So
I mean, yeah, I'm not going to debate
I'm
that.
talking about
but,
character
but
progression.
yes, and I agree because in the last one he kind of like wish-washed back again instead of being.
Yeah,
He
it felt
found
like
some
a
resolve in the
retread.
first one, and then he wish-washed in the second one, found his resolve again, and this one he seemed to have his resolve, and it kind of kept, and that was nice because it should have been the thing that happened before, and now it's happening now. We had to make up for lost time here, right? There's a lot of things that could have been touched upon in the last movie before this one, but we're not.
Yeah.
We're not here to discuss that. We're here to discuss this movie and what it is.
I mean, you can't just
So,
ignore the last one though. I mean,
So wait, can I mention my big problem with Finn in this movie? And unfortunately, it's a problem I didn't have until the director opened his mouth about it.
oh, go on.
So, pretty early on in the movie, they're in a life and death situation, and Finn looks over at Rey and he says, I never got a chance to tell you, and then he never gets a chance to tell her. And they bring it up a couple times in the movie, but then the movie never actually, never even strongly implies what it was he was going to tell her.
I thought that was an
Yes.
homage to Rian Johnson.
Wow. So, I had thought what he meant was that he loved her. And I was like,
Mhm.
I don't know. I actually kind of, in my head, this whole movie kind of went like her going against the Jedi ways, loving Finn, Jedis can't fall in love, and her making like a new thing that wasn't Jedis. It's really how I saw this movie going before I saw the movie. Except, people brought this up and they were like, hey, J.J. Abrams, Finn never got to tell her that he loved her or whatever, right? Like, that's what it was. Was that he loved her? And he was like, no. He was just going to tell her that he was force sensitive.
That's dumb. That's almost. Hey Ray, I really like your shoes. That's what I was going to tell you.
Yeah, that's like, oh, I feel the force too. Cool. Like,
Well-
lots of other people as well, though.
Well, and
like they've even met other people. Like Maz can feel the force.
yeah. To be fair
know
though,
her.
they were building to him the fact that he's been able to handle a lightsaber twice, and the fact that they've not so subtly been like it's.
I mean,
It's
See,
just
I
a
thought
feeling.
that-
After this movie, he was definitely clearly force sensitive. Like that's no, like I
Yeah,
got
exactly.
but that's what he wanted to tell her.
Well, that's
Yeah,
what I'm
I
saying.
thought
It seems dumb.
True.
I also thought that he was going to tell her that he loved her, but then they had to make room for the lesbian kiss at the end,
Yeah,
so that he couldn't say anything.
yeah.
I mean, it's fine. I had no problem with it. Yay. Don't.
Yeah, I mean that wasn't a big thing to me. I mean, I figured that's what
Like,
it was, and they
people
brought
were
it up.
Like,
celebrating-
it wasn't bad until the director was like, "No, it's that he has the force." I was like, "Then why did you waste our time? This movie was a little long. You could have cut that, and it would have been
Okay,
fine."
so speaking on how long this movie was, I don't think this movie was long enough.
What?
Because
It
too
was
many
2.5 hours.
No, but okay, so then bear with me. What I mean is they try to cram too much into one movie. I had a hard time keeping along with all the different plot points, not because I didn't understand them, but because there was just so much shit. And I hate that when other movies do this, but they could have made this one a two-parter.
Yeah, they probably could have, and then they could have had time for the four-way
and-
between the two
And because
dudes and the chicks or
the
whatever.
problem
You
is
know?
I didn't have a chance to really let the tension build because it was like Chewbacca's gone and he's dead. Well, no, he's not. But it was almost like the next scene, right? Like
I did when they first killed Chewbacca. I kind of laughed a little bit because I was like, "What exec was sitting around going like, well, the other three are dead. Kill the fucking bear too." Like,
Well-
it just seemed so desperate. I was like, "Okay, y'all are really just aiming for something here when you just fucking
Well-
killed Chewbacca for."
Well, my thing is that I saw the two ships, and then one blew up, and I was like, "There's no way Chewbacca was on that ship."
well, and you know what's the worst fucking
It
part?
was just such a needless death. Like
Yeah.
Chewbacca literally was just like, "I'm gonna go check on her." Well, he
Yeah.
died for that.
Yeah.
And that was really weird that they didn't show the in between. Like every time Chewie needs to be a badass, they kind of go and he did this off screen. He was a
Right.
total badass. Everyone is collapsed around him, but you show it off screen. And in this one, it was like he fucking failed hard. They're putting a collar on him in like 30 seconds. We don't know what happened. Homie tripped, right? Like it was very definitely ridiculous.
I just imagine that they had this whole mouse trap set up where Chewbacca was around.
No.
Or, just wafting smell like
and
meat
they had
or
a
something
they
like
had
that.
a medal. They had a
He just,
medal
smells the meat and just walks over and then gets caught in a net and is like, "Meh."
This was another disappointing J.J. Abrams answer. He actually came out and he was like, "Oh no, Chewie was just peeing," and then they snuck up behind him.
Wait, you're joking, right? I can't
Yes, I'm
tell
joking.
anymore. See, that's
I'm
the
joking.
problem. So when they killed Chewie, like, if you would have told me before The Last Jedi that is how Chewie died, I'd been like, bullshit. Nobody kills people just arbitrary like that, especially
Yeah, no,
main
he just
characters.
blows up. Though, well, you know what Star Wars does do that though is go back and watch Clone Wars. They're like, "Hey, get to meet all these really great Jedi that you're gonna see in this next movie."
Yeah.
Oh wait, they're in 2-second scenes where they're shot in the back by the clone troopers that you've been spending the last 6 seasons getting to know as people and believing that they all can be individual. Nope, they got an order to just murder all
Yeah,
their
but
friends.
To be fair, in this case, you have established characters that have been around for a very long time, right? Like, for those, it was like they were side characters, whatever.
Yeah.
They get murdered. But in this one, like, they're not just gonna kill Han. Oh, they killed Han. Okay, they did it in an impactful way, though. Okay,
Right.
fair enough. I can see it. It was a whole thing.
Oh, and speaking of Han Solo, I thought it was great when he came back to talk to Kylo.
Oh yeah, let
Yeah.
me get to that. And then you had Luke, like, he got really tired and he just poof. You're like, no, there's no way that's what they're gonna do. So this one, when Chewie blows up, I go, I buy it. Okay, it's par for the course. But all right, yeah.
I wanted
please.
Chewie to fall back and just become one with the Force, though.
No, you just see the hair go.
Yeah.
It blows away in the wind. Well, their clothes got left behind.
Yeah. All right, all their clothes.
His just belt just drops.
All right, Cops, tell us about the return of Han Solo.
So I thought it was great when Kylo Ren was sitting on that planet all by himself after Rey had basically knocked him away and then went and got a ship and took off. And just like he's sitting there contemplating, and like he finally throws away his like Sith lightsaber, right? You know, just this like symbology of like, I'm done with this kind of thing. And then all of a sudden you just hear a voice and it kind of pans and you just see Han standing there and just like, you know, has this like father-son moment with him from the Force.
I thought that happened before he threw his lightsaber.
No, he threw it.
Did he throw it first and then Han showed up?
Yeah, he
'Cause
threw it first.
To be fair, the Han showing up was just all of the endorphins from nearly dying rushing through his head and him having a hallucination.
I mean, maybe, probably. I mean, that's a scientific way to do it. But
Well, I mean,
the Force is space magic.
but no, that's
Space magic.
no.
Yeah.
No.
Space.
He was not a Force ghost.
Look, Qui-Gon Jinn was just the space Jesus,
No,
okay?
to be
Died for
fair,
all of our sins.
Kylo did say you're just a memory. So, yeah.
No, okay, hold on. The Force flows through all of us, whether Jedi or not. Having a strong bond with the Force is more than enough to pull someone's spirit into the Force. It's fine.
But
Han's a Force ghost. He's a Force ghost.
I disagree. I wholeheartedly disagree. I'm just saying, because Han didn't fade away when he died.
He didn't
So
have to
far-
finish.
We don't know. He fell down a hole.
Yeah, he had to fight the Balrog and level up.
The-
He's actually alive, first of all.
all
You
of
don't know that he didn't
No.
fade away at the bottom. He
No.
got stabbed and then he fell. You don't know.
Oh,
First
my
of all,
God.
Don't
though,
know.
so the thing is, the fadeaway doesn't mean like that's a guaranteed you're a Force ghost. But there's other Force ghosts.
That's becoming one with the Force. That's what
Yeah,
that shows.
Yeah, that means that you're just
Yeah.
do that, right? You know what I mean? That's something that Qui-Gon learned. He was the first one to learn, and then he taught Obi-Wan, and then Obi-Wan probably taught Luke by doing it, right? And then Luke became that understanding and also did that as well, right? Han is not a Force user. He wasn't a Jedi. He didn't do any of that. That doesn't mean that he can't be a Force ghost because the Force flows in everything.
Right.
It binds us, it penetrates us, as Obi-Wan says.
Okay,
Yeah.
Which is
so
very
if
creepy
he was a
sometimes.
Force ghost, I like this movie less. I'm just saying.
Why?
Because
Kylo is a strong Force user, right?
I
he had
honestly-
a bond with the
here's what
Force.
all jokes aside, here's what I thought it was. I thought it was Leia using her Jedi powers to project that image to Kylo Ren. That's why she died right after that. That's what I thought the movie was trying to tell me. All jokes aside. I didn't realize that Han was a Force ghost. I thought because of what Kylo says.
Except when Leia says no one's ever really gone.
Yeah, but Kylo literally says in that scene, "You're just a memory."
So I think you're
thought
partially
she was
right.
projecting the memory.
So I think you're partially right. I do feel that she basically used her Force ability to soften the like kind of like heart of her son, right? You know, she definitely did a Force call, just like she did like what we thought before Leia was doing to Luke, right? She definitely did something to like use the rest of her energy to become one with the Force, kind of thing. And I think it was just to reach her son, right? Because her son is a powerful Force user. It's the Skywalker bloodline. It's part of that, right?
Yeah,
And my thing is that if you're that strong with the Force, it doesn't matter if they become one with the Force or whatever. You would still be able to reach out and see that in your bloodline, especially. You know what I mean? Because he has moments where he's like feeling what Vader would have felt, right? His father is part of him as well.
No, hold on, though. That can be attributed to the fact that in the Star Wars universe, they've always shown that places and artifacts can project the kind of Force or how the Force users were feeling, right? Like Sith holocrons and all that shit. They're a thing, right? So,
right, but it also, I know that you haven't played it yet, but in the new Fallen Order game, one of your abilities that you first get as that main character is to be able to basically echo sense, is what they call it, I think, which is where you can feel and see kind of events that have kind of happened.
It's
a Force power,
Eagle
and it's a
Vision.
rare Force power.
It's Eagle Vision. Okay, got it. My bad.
I thought Eagle Vision was like sharp vision that you can see far away.
No, in the Assassin's Creed universe, Eagle Vision is when he goes into that special thing and he sees the past and shadows of it moving. But anyway.
Oh no! See, this is a little bit different. In the game, you like just touch the thing and like he gets this like echo sense and then he just, like, talks about it.
It's World of Darkness is a similar thing.
I
But
really
anyways,
liked Rey's lightsaber. I like both of her lightsabers. Darkseid Rey was badass, and I like that she used a more staff-like weapon because that's what Rey had traditionally trained with was
Yeah.
the staff-like weapon. Though I liked her lightsaber at the end. It seemed like a really modern take on it. I liked the coloring on it, and I liked that it was just a single blade because it did kind of show some of that transformation of her character.
Well, and I
She
like
is
that.
leaning into the Jedi knighthood.
I liked the yellow.
Yeah.
I like the consular thing. Because Jedi consulars usually had the yellow
Yeah.
blades.
But I also like there's a lot of the battle between clicky bottoms versus twisty tops. Luke Skywalker, flicky button. Rey, twisty top.
yeah,
Hence, people like the
yeah,
clicky.
yeah. No, I
Just
get
no.
it. I know what you're saying.
Hers had a twisty top.
Although to be fair, wasn't Vader's just a button?
Vader's was a switch,
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah, it's been a while.
and I think Luke's might have been a switch as well, not a button.
Well,
I think it was a
the
switch.
original blue one, I believe, was a switch. I thought the green one was a button.
Might be.
Yeah, I'm sure there's nerds out there nerd raging that. don't
Wah!
know that.
How do you not know how many buttons?
But yeah, so okay. All right.
So you guys were actually both fine with Palpatine being. So a lot of the rage I'm seeing online is coming from the fact that Palpatine is back at all. A lot of people are like, it's lazy. It's super lazy just to whip out Palpatine again.
So I mean, I was at first I was like, oh man, they're just putting him back in. But then like,
In the opening crawl, even not even a big reveal, but just like, oh yeah, he's back.
yeah, that was the part that was like, wait a minute. And then I saw him on screen, and I was like, this is really dope. Actually, I really like
Well,
Palpatine on screen.
and
I'm glad he's not
I'm
dead
not,
yet.
Look, I'm not okay with it in the sense of like just it is lazy, but
They had to fix the other movie.
they had to fix the other fucking movie.
Yeah,
That-
that's exactly what that was my argument too.
That's
Was
the
like,
biggest
bro,
concession.
they didn't leave him anywhere to go.
and
We got nowhere else to go.
and not just to, I feel bad for JJ, right? Because a lot of people, I don't know what happened. So a lot of people, when Force Awakens first came out, were like, "Oh man, this is a really good movie." Who? And then as time went by, a lot of people went back and were like, "No, we kind of hate that movie." Like,
Which
there
is
was-
so weird because I went back and watched it and I thought it was better. I love it.
there
So
there was
good.
a lot of hate thrown out of it. And I remember at the time I was just like, I like it, but I don't love it. Right? I'm that was my sense. Like, I had problems with little things, but one thing that it gave me was it gave me mysteries. I was curious. I was in. Like, I did want to see more of the universe.
So Snoke cut you deep, is what you're saying.
Well, not just Snoke. For me, in a lot of these trilogies, like even like Mass Effect and stuff, a lot of these really involved stories, I live for the answers. Like, I watch shitty sci-fi because sometimes the writers had a good lore, and I love lore. The problem with these is that a lot of lore was set up and then Rian Johnson shot all over it. That's why it comes.
You just refuse to say his name correctly, don't you?
It's Rian.
It's Ryan.
It's Rian.
Ryan.
That's Rian.
It's Ryan.
Igloo. Rian.
Isn't it? I mean, I'm not arguing this is a Rafe Fiennes kind of situation, but his name is Ryan Johnson.
Okay. Agree to disagree.
You're disagreeing with him.
I'm okay with that. I disagree.
Okay,
with him a lot.
I'm just making sure you know where. Just like I think his name is Ralph Fiennes. It's Ralph, Rafe. But he says Rafe, and that's okay. It's okay.
The same thing as Geoff.
Okay, just making sure we know where you stand. Like for anybody tuning in for this one, is like, why does he keep saying Rian? This is no, he's aware of what he's doing.
Yeah, I am aware. I vehemently disagree with Rian Johnson in general. So why not just say his name weird? Now, look, I don't know any of his other stuff, so I don't know if he has ever done anything good.
No, you don't know. He's only done like 2 or 3 other things.
Okay.
Looper was okay though. Like I was actually okay with Looper. I actually didn't mind it at all.
I didn't see it.
See, I watched it. It was okay. It was fine. But
I'm gonna
I
go
think
back and see it. It's
the
only
problem
fair.
is that like you said, there was lower setup for this one, for this like last movie or whatever, and he didn't follow any of it, and he made his own thing. Which is fine if you're making your own fucking trilogy. I'm okay with things being different,
He
but
did
like
not just only not follow it. He deliberately trashed it. Like if he would have ignored the setups, J.J. Abrams could have still like had some of them pay off here and fit it in. But it wasn't that he ignored them and left them alone. He dismantled them.
yeah, I agree. I'm just saying that like that's where he messed up, was that he didn't kind of follow the formula before him, and he didn't do anything like that. Like he just fucking did his own thing, which is fine if you have your own trilogy, your own thing to do, but like don't fuck up the. I don't know why they changed directors anyway. Why didn't they just have a J.J. Abrams for all three of them? Like I don't know why they're like, let's just do a different director.
He was only supposed to do the first, and then he got put on the third after what happened with.
Yeah, I just don't know why they didn't go. Why don't you just do all three? Like he's just like, no, I only want to do the one. Yep, nope.
Well,
Imagine how much better he would look if they did let Rian Johnson finish this trilogy. He'd look like the fucking. You'd be like, yeah, no, he made the right call not doing these next couple movies.
Yeah, apparently.
Well, and look, to be fair though, again, it's the same thing as The Mandalorian being short. It was a new Star Wars. They didn't know how it was gonna go.
Yeah.
Right? Like this was a huge chance. So they were like, all right, JJ did great with the Star Trek reboot. Let's do this.
Okay, cool. So sign him on for the first one. Be like, if it does good, we want you to do the second and third one too.
Well, but the problem is you got to start work super quick on it, man, because you don't want them to be 3-4 years apart.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
I don't know. I feel that.
Like,
I feel regardless.
The worst part is you're not wrong, though. You're absolutely right. It's just so's the other side.
I just feel that like if you're gonna do a Star Wars movie, no matter what, even the ones that tank, there's still gonna be more. Like,
well, and let's be honest, like,
yeah.
Otherwise, Marvel wouldn't be around, right?
But
look at that Nick Fury movie with fucking what's his name,
David Hasselhoff.
David Hasselhoff.
Like we don't talk about it very often, but
I know we don't talk about the Nick Fury movie with David Hasselhoff,
but
and we should.
A lot of blame of this stuff also goes to Kathleen Johnson. No, Kathleen. Shit, now I forgot her name. She's like, she was the head of Lucasfilms.
Oh yeah.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
I don't.
Kathleen Kennedy. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
So she's the head of the studio, and she made a lot of these calls, and she had a very specific agenda about where she wanted Star Wars to go, and Rian went along with it, and he was her guy to do the things that she wanted to do. We won't get into like what her agenda was. My point is that I don't know if Abrams necessarily was along for the ride with her ideas there, so who knows? There's all kinds of shit behind the scenes that could have happened. The point is that a lot of the flaws that this movie has, I hate that I have to give it a pass, but I have to give it a pass. Just they had nothing to work with, so the reason it feels so cluttered is because they were like, well, the last movie did absolutely fucking nothing. Let's just cool shit, look more cool shit. Just kidding, that was a fucking fake out. We totally like the Holdo maneuver is 1 in a million. That'll shut up the fanboys about why haven't they been doing that, shit like that. Like more.
I do like the why haven't these rebels and ragtag group of heroes been just slamming their ships into the enemies the whole time? Because those are expensive. And these are rebels.
Yeah, but
they're not a well-funded military organization.
To be fair, though, you have with how many X-wings they lose in every single fucking battle. Like maybe you sacrifice 1 or 2 to do a lot of impactful damage because those have hyperdrives too, motherfuckers.
Well, those X-wings are also captured enemy stuff.
Yeah.
They're old surplus from the time between the Clone Wars and
yeah, but they've manufactured more since.
No,
I thought the New Republic had
maybe a little bit, but you got to realize that the surplus of war shit from the Republic is a lot. Like they didn't start off with X-wings; they started off with those crazy ships that like were like X-wings that like expanded up, like from the third ones.
The X-wings weren't surplus.
The X-wings were surplus.
No,
By the
they
time they
weren't.
got them, they were. Yes.
The X-wings were.
So
So if I remember correctly, and again, who knows what the fuck is canon now? But what the X-wings were is the plan. They were supposed to be what the TIE fighters ended up being. Like it was going to be their next line, but the plans got stolen and leaked to the rebellion. So the rebellion started using them, and the Empire decided to go with the TIE fighter lines.
No, that's definitely not going to line up because we see like 3 different kinds of TIE fighter. There's no way the rebels were developing new TIE fighters during the war.
No, not the rebels, the Empire. It's basically
Or sorry, not X-wings. The X-wings go through revisions at points. It was definitely a line that was captured.
Well, they were ones. Well, they had the Z fighters, and then they had the ones from like the Clone Wars and stuff.
They had the Clone Wars one, right? Those were the first kind of models, like the ones that like expand with the wings, like the X-wings and stuff.
Yeah,
and then they went through revisions and became the X-wings, right?
Correct.
And that bridge time between
but
the Empire
if I
and
recall
everything else.
correctly, the plans for the actual X-wings.
Design and development. The X-Wing was descended from the Incom Corporation Clone War era starfighters, namely the Aggressive Reconnaissance 170 Starfighter, Clone Z-95 Headhunter, and Z-95 Headhunter.
Yeah, the Z-95, remember that.
Incom's engineers strove to build a well-rounded, hyperdrive-equipped snub fighter with no exploitable weakness. The new starfighter was intended to become the backbone of the Imperial Navy, but political forces led to the Galactic Empire declining to rely on the Senar Fleet System's more affordable TIE fighter line. The Alliance to Restore the Republic then adopted the X-Wing design. The Alliance to Restore the Republic then adopted the X-Wing design as its own. And 5 ABY Incom Free Tech introduced the T-70, which incorporated many of the improvements over the T-65 series. Blah 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 blah.
So again, the Empire never use them. They're not surplus. It was a design that was abandoned, and then the rebels started building them. Whether that's how they funded it and all that shit, who knows? But they weren't really old equipment. They were just built by the rebellion. The plans were taken, as far as I know, because it wasn't like there's no way in hell those were all prototypes, right? That we see in the entire series.
You're a prototype.
Thank you. Okay, so we're coming up on the hour though. Bonsai, what would you rate Rise of Skywalker?
Man, it's hard to give a number. I can say it's not as good as 7, and it's better than 8.
Yeah.
6.5, maybe a 7. Like it's not bad. It's got problems, but love the practical effects. As all like these new movies have been solid on practical effects, great on performances, decent on character development, little lacking in plot.
Yeah.
6.5.
I still wish they gave Chewie more to do. Klops, what do you think?
I'm probably more on the like 6.5, 7 side of this movie. I think they did a lot of things okay and good, and like had to make up for a lot of things, but they had to make up for a lot of things. So there's a lot of things that were like meh. I still feel like it was a good end to the Skywalker line, and I look forward to not being back on the Skywalker line.
Yeah.
As far as new content,
Fair
I will go back and watch these movies forever.
Yeah, but they're gonna bring Mara Jade in, and Luke had a secret child. Trust me, it's coming. It's coming.
It's fine.
I'm really honestly, I'm thinking they're just gonna go drastically different. I think what we see next is going to be a totally different timeline.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I thought that worked when they did it with Knights of the Old Republic. They were just like, we're not tied to anything. This is thousands of years before. Let's have fun with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. You know what? Let me be completely honest. If it wasn't for the fact that the last one was so atrocious, this one would probably be getting a 3 or a 4. But because I make all those concessions, yeah, it's 7 at best.
It's hard to judge it as a standalone movie.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Especially for like a third movie, it's hard to do a standalone.
Also, before we go, I also wanted to talk about the scene where the stormtrooper or the scout troopers were talking in The Mandalorian. We forgot to touch upon that one.
Oh God, people are so mad at Jason Sudeikis, and it's so stupid.
Why? It was great. I loved it.
Well, they're mad because he was mean to it. Like there's people joking about it, but it also seems that there's some people who are like actually upset with him.
What?
Are
I
you
didn't hear that.
kidding?
I loved it. I thought it's exactly what I wanted. They showed that they're the bad guys, and
Yeah.
they still had a conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's it. That's all it needed to be.
I didn't hate that. Although I will say it was a little on the nose when they were trying to shoot that thing and kept missing.
I thought that was great.
It was
Yeah,
a little. It
that
was
was
Clearly,
hysterical.
It was
clearly
funny,
they're
but
not
it was
shooter
a
troopers. They're
little on the
race
nose.
troopers,
But yeah,
right? They were able to race really well and catch up and grab the baby, but they weren't able to shoot anything. Sounds like
Yeah.
stormtroopers to me. And then they're like, "Wait, I just do what I'm told." You see that they just killed the guy for undermining him. What don't you get about that? And then they punch Baby Yoda. Like it was perfect. That's all I wanted. All I wanted in Star Wars is like for it to be more than just Beep Boop. We're the bad guys. It'd still be the bad guys.
I really just want to make a movie now. Just the bad guys can show up, be like, "Be boop, we're the bad guys."
All right, that's all it needs to be.
Oh,
Just-
you didn't know that's
just-
the third season of Lost in Space.
Just a little bit of that interaction with like clearly they're assholes. It was great. I loved it.
All
Beautiful.
right. Well, okay, so on that note, if you are listening to this anytime near New Year's Eve, I will not be on this multi-stream, but Klops, are you going to
No,
be streaming tomorrow?
maybe during the day, but not.
Okay,
during
so
the night.
there's no stream on that Tuesday, New Year's Eve, but normally Tuesday nights we do multiplayer night, twitch.tv/Metagame Network. We also have Bias Bros that comes out every other Thursday. Boo!
Ew.
And that can be found in iTunes. And yeah, final words, Bonsai.
YouTube's.
Final words, Klops.
Beep Boop YouTubes.
All right. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Bye.